Emily was isolated on the edge of the cliff, with white waves rolling uncontrollably beneath her feet. The strong wind carried the hem of her skirt, and the salty mist hit her face. In an instant, her thoughts were brought back to that same humid morning, 3 months ago. Emily slowly woke up in the hospital bed, but her right hand seemed to have fallen into endless darkness, and she no longer had any feeling. The fingers that were once as nimble as an elf are now like 5 stiff wooden sticks. Even the smallest movement of making a fist has become an unattainable luxury. As the world's top violinist, this sudden change was like a ruthless trial of fate, declaring that her music career was sentenced to death. Since then, she has been like a trapped animal, frantically looking for various treatments, from traditional physical therapy to the most cutting-edge nerve regeneration technology. Every time the flame of hope is ignited, it is ruthlessly extinguished by the cruel reality. Until that day, she met a little girl in the waiting room of the hospital. The little girl is practicing the piano with difficulty and concentration with her only 3 fingers. At that moment, it was like a beam of light shining into Emily's dark world, and she suddenly realized that what she had been desperately chasing might not be real music. After her thoughts returned, Emily stood on the cliff, took a deep breath, and took out the precious violin from the case with her hands trembling slightly. This Stradivari was bought as a gift on her 18th birthday by her father, who did not hesitate to mortgage his entire family property in order to fulfill her dream. Every pattern on the piano's body is engraved with her past glory and dreams, but at this moment, under the dazzling sunlight, it seems to be shining with ruthless ridicule. She gently placed the bow on the strings and began to try to complete the performance with her left hand alone. The notes, like injured birds, drifted intermittently in the sea breeze, like a fragmented elegy, telling her sadness and unwillingness. However, as the melody flows, an unprecedented sense of freedom quietly comes to my heart. She is no longer bound by perfect technique, and no longer cares about other people's opinions and judgments. She simply lets music flow naturally from the bottom of her heart. The surging rhythm of the waves gradually blended with the sound of her piano. Emily slowly closed her eyes and let her body sway gently with the moving rhythm. She thought of the little girl playing the piano, and of the people in the waiting room who were disabled but still stood for music. She finally understood that music has never been a competition for perfection, but a resonance deep in the soul and the blooming of life force. The sun sets in the west and the afterglow shines on the earth. Emily gently put away her violin, turned around, and walked away from the cliff with firm steps. At this moment, her steps were much lighter than when she came, as if the heavy shackles that had been weighing on her heart for a long time were removed. In the distance, the lights of the city gradually lit up, like stars twinkling in the night sky. She knows that starting tomorrow, she will start a new chapter in her life. She is no longer the violinist struggling in pain due to the loss of her right hand, but the Emily who truly understands the true meaning of music. Letting go is not giving up, but a kind of detachment and a kind of freedom. At this moment, Emily finally understood the profound meaning of this sentence. She no longer clings to the glory of the past, but fully expects to continue her indissoluble bond with music in a new way. Perhaps in the near future, she will really form a special orchestra, so that every imperfect musician can have a stage to shine and show his talent. The sea breeze was still blowing in her ears, but Emily knew that this was no longer a cry of despair, but a prelude to new life, leading her to a future full of hope.